Hi, I'm Lo. Welcome to your practice. Close your eyes for just a moment and breathe in the fact that you're here on your mat ready to practice today without judgment, just loving kindness. Taking a deep breath in and breathe out your nose. One more time, take a nice deep breath in. Pulling that breath all the way up your spine, up to the crown of your head, reaching tall. And exhale, watch the breath move down your spine now as it enters your pelvic bowl and releases out through the pelvic floor. And open your eyes. We're going to do a little breath visualization to begin. I'll use the visualization throughout class, not only to keep the focus on our breath, but also to keep posture and proper alignment so that we don't injure ourselves through the asana practice. So we'll begin just by kind of trying to come into our space. So close your eyes is the best way to do it. And we'll kind of just try to withdraw our senses from the outside world. So please join me. Close your eyes, palms come to the tops of your thighs. I'm sitting up high on a yoga pillow or a yoga block to lift my hips higher than my knees, which allows me to open up through the inner thighs and the inner hips a bit more. And that lets my trunk rise straight up from my pelvic bowl, keeping my hips and my shoulders square. So I'm finding mountain as I'm sitting here, even though I'm not standing in traditional mountain pose. I'm keeping my hips square to the floor. I'm keeping my shoulders over my hips and my ears over my shoulders. Sitting up nice and tall. On every inhale, I feel my chest rise up through the sky. And on every exhale, I let the breath come down to the pelvic floor and exit down my glutes, down my thighs, and I imagine a pool of energy all around me. On the inhale, I suck it back up through my spine, through the pelvic floor, letting my chest rise at the top of the inhale, and then exhale, watch the chest fall, breathing out your nose. Let that exhale relax. Inhaling this time, feel it come up through the back body, lifting the back rib cage up and away from the lower back, giving you a little bit of height, letting it come up through the back of the skull and up through the crown of the head. And then exhale, feel it cascade through the back of the skull, over the shoulders, down the back body like water as the breath comes down over the glutes and over the backs of the hips and onto your mat and into the earth all around you, creating that vast pool of energy that you can draw up on the inhale through your nose. And exhale. And focusing on that center line of the body, the spine, our central channel, we're going to visualize the chakras this time coming up through the floor, coming up through the navel, coming up through the solar plexus, rising up through the heart space, through the throat, through the third eye, and finally to the crown chakra, opening up that lotus flower as the inhale lingers above our human forms for a moment, and then on the exhale, bringing it right back down into that center channel, into your heart space, watching it down, move down to the navel, down through the pelvic floor. Closing your eyes, follow that journey, watching the breath as it moves up. I like to picture colors: red, yellow, green, blue, purple, white, shining, light, pure energy, and bringing it right back down through the crown, third eye, through the throat, heart space. Bring it all the way down the front of the abdomen, releasing through the pelvic floor. Take another deep inhale here, this time allowing the rib cage to open like a cylinder, all front, back, side, body as you inhale. And then exhale as if a balloon is deflating inside your rib cage. It shrinks back to the center, bringing all that energy in towards your core. Pull your navel in and up to expel any last air. And then inhaling again, watch that balloon inflate. Opening up the rib cage, front, side, and back. Finding that complete breath. And exhale. We're going to practice that a little bit. First, we want to feel the breath a bit more in our side bodies. We're going to reach out to the right, taking fingertips to the mat, and then lift your left arm high up to the sky, bending the lower elbow just a little bit, allowing your body to come down, and then reaching that left arm over the left ear, reaching long. Take a nice deep breath here, feeling the breath open up the side body, and then let the exhale draw you back up to center. Repeating the same thing on the other side. Take your left palm out this time, coming to fingertips, inhaling up. Reach the right arm up, first up to the sky and then over the ear. Reach long, breathe in. Feel the breath in that side body. And let the exhale bring you back up. We'll do that a couple of times. Inhaling here. Look to the floor. Exhale, come up. Inhale, other side. Feel that side lengthen as you reach over the ear. Feeling the lower ribs move away from the hip bones. And then exhale, come back up to center. Taking the palms right down onto the knees. We're going to press down through the palms to gain length through the upper spine. Shoulders come away from the ears. Inhaling, reach the crown of the head long. Exhale, stay here. Inhaling here. Roll the shoulders down and back. Pull the crown of the head up towards the sky as if a golden thread is pulling you long. And then exhale, let it go. And we're just going to stir the pot a little bit. We'll bring our shoulders to the right first, reaching up forward, inhaling here. And then exhaling, tucking through the pelvis, making a C curve there, expelling the air, inhaling, come forward, exhale. And try to match the inhalations with the exhalations. I oftentimes get myself into a little bit of a waltzy rhythm here with a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, but you could be 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice what your innate rhythm is. Are you filled with heat today? Are you feeling a little more calm already? Sitting tall, press squarely through the mat or through your yoga pillow. With your hips, find that mountain pose, and then come to the other side. Inhale long, come forward. Exhale, tuck the navel. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And on this last one, notice the inhalation in the front body for the most part, and the exhalation in the back. And then marrying those, the sides, the front, and the back bodies, so that we are expanding like that inflating balloon. And then as it deflates on the exhale, drawing it all through the center. Take that breath once here, inhaling here. Exhaling there through the nose. Adding a top, middle, and lower element now to really make it that complete breath, a dirgha breath, which we're going to use now for a pranayama practice, but also throughout the practice to maintain posture. Take a nice deep breath here through the whole cylinder, but just up to the lower ribs, up towards the heart space, up towards the crown of your head. And then exhale, just the top, middle, bottom. Inhaling up through the bottom, through the middle, through the top. Exhaling top, middle, and bottom. Let it go out through the pelvic floor. Come to stand. We're going to come into mountain pose and practice that complete breath from a standing posture. In mountain pose, we'll begin with our foundation. Press down through the soles of your feet and allow your toes to come out. And then press them down so that you can see the color of the mat between the toes. Squaring your ankles in line with your middle toes. And then lift your thighs up away from your knees, engaging your legs, making sure that your knees are over your ankles, and then tipping back through your hips just a slight bit to elongate through the lumbar spine. Hips are over the knees. Tugging in through the navel and in through the lower rib cage to create that cylinder that we've been practicing to keep that complete breath. And that's in fact what that Dirga breath posture will do for you, that we can keep that rib cage in that posture and keep that breath freely moving through the front, the back, and the side bodies, through the lower, mid, and upper rib cage to really complete that breath and keep our posture. While we stand here, tucking the lower rib cage in, let the chest rise on the inhale, and then it naturally drops your shoulders back, elongating through the collarbone. Tuck the chin slightly, making sure the ears are over the ankles, reaching up tall always on the inhale through the crown of the head, pressing the floor away, still growing tall even on the exhale, grounding. Inhale, reach the arms high, reach up towards the sky. And exhale, palms together, come to prayer right down the center line. Inhale here again, pressing the floor away, reaching high in opposition, look up. And then take all that energy down to your center, exhaling here through the nose. We're going to inhale another time. This time we're going to come forward into Uttanasana. Exhaling, swan dive down, and bend your knees. Stay here for just a moment, picturing that breath come down the back of your spine as it rolls over the back of your skull and spreads out all over your floor. Your hands are just drenched in pure energy, pure light. And then suck that light and energy up as you bring your chest through, coming halfway up, looking forward. And then exhale, come back to plank. Stay here for a moment and bring your knees to the ground. I want to talk about the palms of your hands. Taking the palms of your hands so that the pointer fingers and the thumbs press towards each other isometrically without truly moving on your mat. Stretching the fingers out this time, just like the toes were in mountain pose, so that we're really using the fingertips and the knuckles to press down through the floor, feeling that groundedness, and then kind of sucking up the energy through the centers of our palms. So let's practice that together. Go ahead and find that hand position. Press your palms firmly into the mat. Spread your fingers wide, taking those two right angles formed by the pointer finger and the thumb and pressing your hands so they're isometrically moving towards each other. Take the fronts of your elbows towards the front of your mat, and then lift your knees off the ground, pulling your navel up towards your spine to support the lower back. Look forward and bring your chest through, inhaling here through the nose. Exhaling, just come down to your knees, and then lower your chest and chin. Exhale here, inhale, and just rock your hips from side to side, just releasing any tension that you might have there in your lower body before coming up into a little back bend. Taking the palms now to the sides of your rib cage and picturing magnets on the insides of your elbows, drawing your elbows towards each other, towards the midline of the body, which lifts the shoulders up and away from the floor. With that idea, we're going to first tip the tailbone up slightly. So I'm kind of sticking my butt up in order to gain some length in that lumbar spine. And while I do that, I'm also going to arch through my upper back, inhaling long here, pressing the ground away into a baby cobra. And then exhale, come back down. Instead of just focusing on the upper body, we want to reach those legs nice and long behind us, pressing quads to the ground, pressing tops of the feet to the ground, and then pointing the toes, reaching the legs in opposition away from the body, pulling the palms towards the center line and allowing that to pull the chest through on the inhale, rising up, and exhale. Can you still feel the complete breath? Inhaling here, try to find the breath in the back body, allowing the back body to lift you up even more. And then exhale, tucking the navel slightly. One more time here, really find that complete breath. Drawing the elbows together, pulling back through the palms, reaching up high. And then exhale, come back down to the ground and take your hips to your heels, coming back into child's pose. Press the ground away just like we did in plank, active hands, and allow your head and your shoulders to just melt, letting your chest come through to your thighs. Inhale, feel the breath in the back body. Exhale, come even lower to your mat, even rest your forehead on a mat. If so, or on stacked hands, just roll the forehead from side to side, releasing tension, engaging the parasympathetic nervous system. And then coming up, you're going to sit on your heels but tuck your toes behind you. And this pose can sometimes be not the most comfortable pose. So the more you do it, the more open the soles of your feet will be. And it's just so healthy, opening the arches of your feet, opening all those ligaments and the fascia in the soles of your foot. Even while we're here, giving yourself a little massage through the soles, through the arch. Just feel that length. And know that the openness in the soles of your feet corresponds with the pelvic floor, corresponding with the diaphragm, allowing you to take a more complete, full breath, filling your body with breath and prana on every inhale. Stay here another moment, taking a deep breath in, grow tall, find that mountain pose. Hips are square to your heels, shoulders over the hips, tucking through the abdomen and the lower rib cage, reaching up tall with the chest, bringing your ears over the shoulders, reach the crown of the head long, inhaling. And exhale, go ahead and release, and you can tap out the tops of the feet a little bit if that tension was hard to bear. And staying in this position for just a moment, we're going to reach through like a thread the needle, reaching through with one arm so that it crosses beneath your chest, and then allow the side of your head to just lay on the floor, feeling that opening through the back of the shoulder. Just close your eyes for a moment, squaring your hips up towards the sky. And then switch sides, coming up. Thread the other arm through, behind, I should say, the forearm. Resting on the shoulder, resting on the same side of your head, ear, squaring your hips to the back of the mat. And then inhale, come back up to all fours, step back into plank. Engage through the abdomen, look forward, drawing the chest forward, inhaling here. Press back through the heels. And then exhale, come up into Urdhva Mukha Shavasana. Lifting your hips towards the sky, dropping your heels towards the ground, push the floor away. Engage that hand lock. And then try to do the same with the feet. Spread the toes, press down behind the big toe mound, the pinky, and the heel. Lift the quads up and away from your heels. Lift your hips towards the sky. Inhale, get long, and then exhale, come back to plank. Lower your knees, chest and chin. Coming up into cobra, press the floor away, elbows towards one another, pull the chest through, get high, and this time sit back on your heels, but don't tuck your toes. Coming back into child for just a moment. Coming up onto the knees and into Ustrasana camel pose, we're going to take the same initial motion that we did for cobra by lengthening through the back of the tailbone and sticking your butt out just slightly. So with cobra, we initiate the movement. We've got hips over knees, and we're going to hinge. We're going to just extend back through the hips a little bit to create the length through the lumbar spine, reaching the tailbone long, arching the back, coming up, letting the chest and the heart space rise up towards the sky, even allowing the chin to fall back slightly, and then coming up. So that's kind of the motion. Now we're going to add the hands. Different. Some people do camel like this. We're going to make a little bit of less torque on the lower back by taking our hands and clasping them behind your skull so that they rest on the back of your skull, and just kind of allow that to settle in. Feel how you can pull your cervical spine long by pulling up, and then press back through your fingertips so that it's not your hands bringing your head forward, but strengthening the back of your neck by pressing the skull back into the fingertips. Now picturing those magnets, bring the elbows towards one another, and then as if they're being drawn up towards the ceiling, bring the elbows up, stretch the tailbone long, tuck the toes, and come into Ustrasana as you sit back towards the heels. Inhaling here, get long and arch, and then exhaling, sit back on those heels and just rest, palms to thighs. Coming up again, first standing on your knees. Palms come before, stack the hands the different way. Elbows come together and then up to the sky, stretching the tailbone long. Arch into camel. Shining the heart space towards the sky. And then exhale, come back to sit. Clasp the hands behind the back, untuck your toes, and just come forward, reaching your knuckles towards the sky and opening up your chest, opening up your shoulders. Inhale, bring those arms back and let it rise you up. Taking your right foot forward, coming into a low lunge. Press back through the back heel and lift the knee. Inhaling here, get long, pulling the chest through. Exhale, coming back to Parsvakonasana, taking the back foot forward about a foot, and then pressing the outer part of the foot, the blade of the foot into the floor, letting your arch rise, tightening up through your leg and inner thigh, and then pressing the ground away through the big toe mound, the pinky, and the center of the heel. Inhaling, get long. You can keep that front leg bent a little bit if you have a tight lower back or tight hamstrings. All the time squaring the hips towards the front of the mat, then pressing the ground away. Inhaling, flat back, draw the chest through the shoulders and look forward. And then bending the knees slightly, bring the abdomen to the thigh and just melt. Inhaling here, get long. Exhale, melt. Inhaling, press the ground away through the feet, strong lower body. Squaring the hips, exhale, melt. And one more time, getting long, inhaling. Stop here for a moment, keep that length, and take your opposite hand and foot. So I stepped my right foot forward, I have my left foot on fingertips, pressing on the outside of the front foot, And that allows me, keeping my hips squared towards the ground, to twist through the middle back and start to stack shoulder over shoulder, inhaling here, coming into a twisted. Inhaling, get long, reach to the sky. Exhale, come back down. And if you wobble like I did, just smile. Come back down and join us, coming into a low lunge. Coming down into asana, drop the knee. Inhale, reach long up to the sky. Stacking the front knee over ankle. Exhale, come down and press back into down dog. Lifting the hips up high first, and then on the exhale, press down and back through the heels. Press the ground away. Inhale here, get long, allowing the breath to bring the hips even higher. Exhale, just envision that energy falling back down the back of the legs, hamstrings, calves, heels, into a pool of energy all around you. And then kneel. And we'll bring the other leg through. Inhale here, come to a low lunge. Drawing the shoulders back to allow the chest to shine through. Pressing back through the heel. Drop the knee, coming up. Into Anjaneyasana, reach for the sky. And then exhale. Coming up on fingertips, draw that back foot about a foot forward, lifting the arch as you press back through the blade of the foot, keeping the front knee slightly bent, square your hips. Inhale, reach long through the back, drawing the chest forward, look forward. Press the floor away, keep the hips square. Exhale, melt, letting your abdomen come down onto the thigh. Bend your knee if you need to. Send your breath to all those tight places. Let it loosen them up. Inhaling, bring prana, bring energy, bring light, inspiration. Exhale, send it there. Inhale, get long, flat back, engage your legs, and exhale. Coming back to a low lunge, back to a plank, coming through vinyasa or back to down dog. Exhale here, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Draw the chest through, look up. Adho Mukha Shavasana. Press the hips towards the sky, press the floor away. Exhale, lower the heels. Press back to the back of your mat, keeping your hips held high, engage your legs. Inhaling here, get long, and exhale, take the knees to the mat. Coming forward again, coming back up to mountain pose. Find that posture, standing firmly through the soles of your feet, reaching high, bending over to the right side. Inhaling here, get long. Exhale, come back up to center. Other side, inhale, get long. Exhale, come back up to center. Clasp the hands behind the skull. We'll do the same thing. This time, pressing the skull back into the hands, allowing that to open your shoulders and your elbows. Inhaling here, get long. Exhale to hinge at the hips. Inhale here, get longer. Exhale, come back up to center. Inhale here, grow tall through the crown of your head. Exhale, come to the side, stretching through the side body, feeling the breath extend from the lower ribs. Inhaling here, away from the hips. Exhaling, come tall again, reach tall, and come up into tree pose. Taking your right leg to your ankle, inner thigh, or even the calf, just not on the knee. Press here and allow the pressure created between the sole of the foot and the inner thigh to square your hips to the ground. Squaring your shoulders to your hips. Inhaling here. With a smile, reach high for the sky. And then clasp your hands like a shootout. Whoops, if you fall, come on back. Really grounding yourself, pressing down through the earth, allowing that to extend your spine. If you're still here, good for you. Pointing up to the sky, upper arms are by your ears, and then bring it back into center, stopping at the chest. On the next inhale, letting the breath come up to meet your palms. And then exhale, go ahead and drop the sole of the foot. And we'll repeat the same movement on the other side, coming up into tree pose for asana. Square the hips to the ground, find your balance. Inhale here, reach for the sky. Clasp the hands like a shootout. I've got my hands like this with my pointer fingers together and my thumbs, one crossed over the other ones, reaching up high towards the sky, reaching fingertip up towards the sky, inhaling tall and strong. Exhale, stay here. If this is too much on your shoulders, you can come into goalpost arms just like this, inhaling long, and then exhale, bring your foot back down. We're going to continue with balanced postures, this time coming into Garudasana, eagle pose. Take your right leg and cross it over your left. And then you're going to kind of try to tuck that top of your foot and toes around the back of your left calf and maintain your posture. Trying. Coming back up with a smile when you lose it. Squaring your hips to the front. This is a challenge today. And then you're going to be taking your left arm over your right, elbow to elbow, clasping your palms, stretching them up to your chin, and then lengthening through your upper arms away, inhaling here, exhale, go ahead and switch sides. And if you fall out of it, be kind to yourself. Taking your left leg now over the right, go ahead and tuck those toes behind the opposite calf. And the more you can do that, the more stability you'll find in the posture. Squaring your hips towards the mat. Taking your right arm over your left, crossing at the elbows, palms together. Reach up through the elbows. And then move the upper arms away, engaging through the backs of the shoulders. And then exhale, come back up to center. Inhale, reach long. Urdhva Hastasana. And then exhale, bring it back into chest. Inhale again, reach up for the sky. Bending forward like a waterfall. Swan dive down and let that water come down the back body as if there's a fountain up out of your tailbone. And the water is just cascading down the mid-back, drawing the shoulder blades apart, down the back of the neck, down the back of the skull, out the crown of the head, and forming that pool. Linger there for a moment. Bend your knees and draw your abdomen towards your thighs. And then slowly, slowly press the soles of your feet into the ground and allow that movement to straighten through the backs of the legs. Lift your hips up towards the sky as you inhale. And then exhale, this time see if you can keep your legs long and bring your abdomen even closer to your thighs. And then just cross your arms like a cradle and hold each elbow and just hang there and ragdoll for a moment, shaking your head out, yes and no. Roll your shoulders down and back, releasing any tension. Press down through the ground and engage your quadriceps to really feel that stretch in the back of the hips. And then inhale, take fingertips to the ground and get long. Pull the chest through, look forward. And then exhale, come back to plank, coming through vinyasa or back to downward dog. Inhale, exhale, downward dog. Inhale, get long, hips to the ceiling. Exhale, press the heels down to the floor and come down to your knees and down to your belly. Coming into Sphinx, stretching out just slightly so that when we pull forward, our shoulders are over our elbows, or our elbows just a little slightly in front. Because the motion is really the arm pulling backward towards the body. But it's isometric, so of course we're not moving. Finding that hand lock there by pressing down through the fingertips, knuckles, through those right angles created with the pointer fingers and the thumbs isometrically towards each other, at the same time pulling back through the elbows towards, which allows our chest space to kind of shine through as our shoulders pull back. So just engaging the upper body in Sphinx for a moment. Go ahead and do that. Inhaling, looking stately like the Sphinx. And then engaging the back body. Go ahead and point through the toes. Lifting the thighs up away from the floor. Inhaling here. Feel that length, feel the power. Lift your belly button even away from the ground. And then exhale, come down, allowing the chest to kind of just fall between the shoulders for a moment. Inhaling this time through the back body. Really feel that complete breath. Support your posture in the back bend. Inhaling here, allowing your chest even to rise at the end. And then exhaling through the front body as it weighs you down into the mat, allowing your chest to just kind of fall through the shoulders for a moment, stretching out the upper arms and fronts of the shoulders. Inhaling, pull back and get long, pointing through the toes, pulling up through the navel, rising through the heart space, ears back over shoulders, and then exhale. Come all the way down to the mat. Stack one hand over the other. Bring your forehead down like a little pillow and just roll it back and forth, engaging through the parasympathetic nervous system, calling upon some calm, following movement with breath. Coming up onto all fours. Just going to get balance now through the torso. Lift through the right leg, reach it long, point the toes away from you, and then reach the opposite arm long. Inhaling here, look forward. Exhale, drop the knee, switch legs. Inhaling, reach long. And exhale, come back to the front of your mat. This time we're going to sit in Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose, taking the soles of our feet together. You may want to lift your glutes up a little bit if it's uncomfortable to sit here on the floor. I like to take my meditation pillow or a folded up towel and just sit on the very edge of it. And then if you're very tight, you'll have your soles of your feet kind of in a larger angle, moving your heels away from your pelvic floor. And then if you can, and if you're a little bit more flexible in your inner thighs and inner hips, you can take your soles of your feet so they're a little bit closer to your seat, pressing the soles of your feet towards each other, and then opening through the arches. I like to picture that you're reading a little book there, and then give yourself a little bit of self-care by just rubbing out the soles of the feet there. Just go back and forth. You can go lengthwise, laterally, whatever really feels like a release. If you find a knot, give it a little pressure for a moment and come back and work on that a little later. Soles of our feet are the foundation. Breaking up the fascia there allows us to stand firmly and feel grounded. And we have to stop there for a moment because of time. Give your toes one little rub too. And then inhale, grow long, sitting down through your pelvic floor and rising up through your heart space, breathing through the front, side, and back of your posture, tucking in the lower ribs, exhaling, pulling the navel to spine, pulling up the pelvic floor, inhaling, follow the breath up the spine, up through the crown of the head, as if you're being pulled by an imaginary golden thread, up through the crown of the head, up towards the sky. Staying that long, exhale, follow the breath down the body and into the pelvis, and even out the inner thighs, creating length as it travels through your body. Inhaling, And then exhale, come forward, folding into Baddha Konasana. Inhale, roll the shoulders back so the chest can come forward, and then just allow the body to melt into the floor. Each time getting long on the exhale, pulling back through the palms of the hands to bring your heart space through, and then on the exhale, just melting, keeping a long, flat back. Inhale, grow long, move your shoulder blades away from your hips. And then exhale, bring your whole trunk towards the floor, just melting, opening up through the inner thighs, opening up through the inner and outer hips. And then kind of walk yourself back up. Inhaling long here. We're going to turn to the right side, taking our left hand over to the right knee, growing tall before twisting, and then keeping our hips in line with the front of the mat, just twisting through your shoulders and through the thoracic spine. Inhaling long. Exhaling, go ahead and twist, and you can use that arm and knee as leverage, pressing down through the floor behind you with the right hand up on fingertips. Inhale here, stay here, and grow long, following the breath through the pelvic floor, up the spine, up to the crown of the head, and then exhale, twist even more, pulling the navel to spine at the bottom of the exhale to expel any extra air. Keeping the chin and nose in line with the chest and not torquing the neck too much. It's the thoracic spine we're really getting the twist for, and not the neck. Inhaling long here one more time. Exhale, twist even further on the exhale, pulling in the navel to spine, and then coming back to center. Inhale, grow long. And exhale, twisting again through the thoracic spine, through the mid-back, keeping the hips facing the front of the mat. Exhale, twist away. Twist through the shoulders. Inhale, grow long, press the floor away with the left hand on fingertips. And then exhale, twist, expelling all that last air by drawing the navel into spine. On no breath, find the space. Inhaling one more time. Following that prana, spreading it throughout your body on the exhale. Twist one last time. And then come back to center. Inhale here and get long. And then come to lay on your back. Coming into Apanasana, draw your knees into your chest. And then extend your legs up towards the ceiling. Flex the feet. Press the soles of the feet as if you're going to stamp them, drawing the thighs away from the knees, engaging through the glutes. Bend the knees a little bit more, and then come up into half boat pose, half Navasana. Inhaling, roll back down, back up into half Navasana. Rolling down, come back up, whoop. Find your balance, sitting on your sits bones. Exhale, allow yourself to roll down, coming back up again, balancing and engaging the core. And then this time roll back slowly and allow your back to come to rest on the mat. Inch myself back a little bit so I can stretch my legs out on the floor. Stretch long, pointing the toes away from the body. Palms face up. We're not there yet. Tuck the shoulders behind the back and open up through the heart space. Pull the knees back into the center of the body, and keeping the knees up towards your chest, go ahead and roll to one side, stacking the knees on top of each other, keeping them pulled in, and the opposite shoulder blade glued to the floor as you look the opposite direction of your knees. Inhaling here, grow long still through your tailbone and your heart space, crowning your head. Feel that central channel, nice and long. And then exhale, come back up, Apanasana. Exhaling here. Inhale. And on the next exhale, keep your knees up towards your armpit and release, knees stacked on top of each other to the opposite side, keeping your shoulder pinned towards the floor and looking in the opposite direction, palm facing up. Inhaling here, grow long. Exhale. Send breath and prana to tight spaces. Inhaling here. And exhale, come back up to center. Coming back to Baddha Konasana, Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined. Taking the soles of your feet together. And just letting your inner thighs open up. Palms face the ceiling. Inhale here. Exhale, let it go. And if you have blocks here, you could put a block under each one of your knees to really support yourself. If you have a bolster, you can place it behind you, coming up on the bolster like this. Placing it just at the bottom here. Sit on the edge actually with your tail, and then let your upper body kind of just drape down over it so that your spine lies directly on the length of the bolster. And then come into Baddha Konasana here. Allowing your heart space to open up, your shoulders, fronts of your shoulders to open up, inner thighs, hips. Possibility. Take a deep breath into your intention. And let it go. Even observation of the breath, let it go. Shavasana. Allow yourself to absorb the energy. Picture yourself bathed in the light of the energy. Just kind of seeing a glow come off of all surfaces of your body. And with that glow, a lightness, just like the light of the energy, allowing it to kind of lift you, unburden you. And now watch that light, just like water, as it cascades down from your third eye, down your cheeks, down your jaw, releasing, following it across your collarbones, widening, opening your heart space, opening to possibility. Inhale into that. And then exhale, bring your knees to one side and you roll off your bolster or off your blocks wherever you are. Stack one palm on top of the other, making a pillow. And then take your palms to the earth and allow just your arms to press yourself up. And come back to a seated position at the front of your mat. Back up onto a block or a folded towel. And we're going to work on some pranayama before we finish up for today's practice. And we'll begin with some nadi shodhana. Before we do, we'll make sure that we still are using that complete dirgha breath. So as we sit here in Sukhasana, easy pose, raise your hips away from the floor so that your legs can open up. Hips higher than your knees. Sitting squarely on your pelvis as if it was a bowl it could hold water. So you might want to bring your navel in and up a little bit towards your spine. Tuck your lower ribs in. Rise up through the heart space and reach long through the crown of the head, tucking your chin slightly, shoulders over hips, square to the mat, ears over shoulders, palms just resting easy on the tops of your thighs. Take your right hand up, and then you're going to bring your pointer finger and your middle finger up to your third eye. Close your eyes and just acknowledge those fingertips there on your third eye and take a deep breath into them. And then exhale without closing your nostrils. At the bottom of your exhale, draw your navel in and up towards your spine, and then just very lightly feel around the bridge of your nose until you feel the end of that bony part on either side of the nostril, resting your tip of your thumb and the tip of your ring finger on those two bony parts. This time, press. As you inhale, you're going to create pressure on the left nostril, breathing in through your right, closing off both nostrils, pausing the breath, and just feeling those fingertips at your third eye for a moment. And then exhale, open up through the left nostril, exhale through it, pause at the bottom, inhale through your left, close both nostrils, pause at the top, exhale through your right, inhale through your right. Bring the breath right up to the third eye. Notice the fingertips creating light pressure there. Close off the right nostril, open the left, and exhale. Watching the breath wash down the side body, over the left leg, into that pool of energy all around you. Inhaling there through the left. Bring it up to the third eye and pause. Close both nostrils. Exhale right. Allowing it to wash down the right body this time, over the thigh and onto the floor. Inhaling through the right. Hold at the top. Exhale left. Inhale left. Third eye. Exhale right. Go ahead and take another couple of rounds here by yourself. If you need to support your arm, you may do so with the opposite arm. And we'll take one more round, ending on the same side that we started. And once you've finished up on the side you started, or exhaled on the right, which is where we started together, take your palms to your thighs, press down like we did at the beginning to get length through the trunk, inhaling here, rise up through the heart space, and exhale. We're going to do that again, but this time we're going to retain the breath at the top, inhaling, tuck the chin all the way down into the center of your collarbones, into that notch there, creating a lock. Engage through the floor of the pelvis, through the navel, and then lift the chin, release the locks in the navel and the floor of the pelvis, and exhale. Inhaling one more time like that, press down. Chin to the collarbones, raise the pelvic floor, navel to spine, bring it in and up. Let those 3 locks go and exhale. And just a natural breath now, breathing up through the pelvic floor, watch it come up through the chakras. Let it linger, and then exhale, bring it all back into the center. Grace, possibility, and hopefully a sense of calm. Take the palms of your hands to the top of your thighs, and we'll just close our eyes here for a brief meditation. Close your eyes, reach the crown of your head long, tuck your chin slightly, roll your shoulders down and back, find a comfortable seat, easy pose here. Find a singular breath focus. Notice where you most sense the breath as you take a deep inhale through your nose. Maybe through your third eye, maybe through the bridge of your nose, through your nostrils, maybe your throat, your chest, your lungs. Choose a focus and stick with it, following your breath as it passes that spot. Drawing all your senses inward. Coming home. Relax through the forehead, unfurrow the brow, relax the jaw, let the ears drop down and back. Keeping the breath on that single focus, and when you find your concentration interrupted, or your attention elsewhere, be kind. Refrain from judgment, and just join us. And if you can stay longer, please do. That's about an hour. Inhaling, grow long through the crown. And then exhaling, close your eyes one more time, remembering your intention. Spreading it out through all of the parts of your body, all the space that we've created. Open your eyes. Prayer. I'm so grateful that you practiced with me today. I'm grateful for the grace and the space that I feel after just an hour of practice, of movement, of breath, of meditation. Namaste. Please subscribe or like and come back and visit to practice more with me. Thank you.